Good morning all. My name is Santhosh Kumar, Assistant Professor, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. My subject is ethical hacking. So today I'm discussing about introduction to ethical hacking. So before going to this subject, what are the course outcomes? So there are 6 course outcomes are there. First one, course outcome 1. Explain the basic concepts on ethical hacking to overcome an authorized attempt and access to a computer system. So before going to this subject, what is the ethical hacking and what are the basic concepts on that, and how can we overcome the unauthorized attempt? Actually, ethical hacking is a authorized attempt, but here we are going to unauthorized. How can you overcome the unauthorized access on a computer system and extend the password hacking techniques to identify viruses and worms sniffers? So majorly in the hacking, password protection is a very typical problems are there. So to identify the password hacking, to extend the password hacking techniques to identify viruses and worm sniffers, to overcome the problems of password, and identify the footprinting concepts and techniques for web services and scanning networks. So footprinting and web services are the scanning techniques using to identify the problems or cracking or hacking, to how can you overcome the cracking techniques. And here examine the operating system vulnerabilities to access the devices and system. So there are different types of operating system we have to use to find out the vulnerabilities. Actually, we are performing penetration testing to find out the vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means some errors or loopholes in the system. So we have to find out those vulnerabilities and we have to maintain some separate operating system. So examine the operating system and vulnerabilities to access the devices and system, and illustrate the network protection system for firewalls to detection and prevention of the system. So network protection is also important in a hacking to overcome the hacking or tracking protection. So here we have to maintain the strong firewalls to detect to not unauthorized access to attempt. So here illustrating the network protection is important for the firewalls to detection and prevention of the system, and classify the network scanning concepts to identify active host, port and the services used by the target applications. Maybe the hackers can crack our Wi-Fi networks or any Bluetooth like this. So we have to scanning the network concepts to identify what are the active hosts and ports and services used by the target application. So these are the course outcomes of this subject. So introduction to ethical hacking. What is ethical hacking? Ethical hacking is an authorized attempt to gain unauthorized access to a computer system, application or data using the strategies and actions of malicious attackers. So ethical hacker is a employee or is one of the authorized person of the organization. So what is his role? His role is to gain the unauthorized access, who was unauthorized to the organization in the system or computer or in the organization systems. So they have to find out. So why they have to find out means they have to, maybe they are using some strategies and actions of malicious attackers, and this practice helps to identify security vulnerabilities that can then be resolved before a malicious attacker has the opportunity to explain them. So ethical hacker, how can they prevent to unauthorized access or hacker or cracker to the organization means they have to first perform penetration testing and find out the vulnerabilities. Then only getting the vulnerabilities report, they have no idea about who are the malicious attackers. So how the possibilities are there to attack the organization systems or Wi-Fi's or networks. Okay, and ethical hackers are security experts who perform these proactive security assessments to help improve an organization's security posture with prior approval from the organization or owner of an IT assets. The mission of an ethical hacking is to opposite of malicious hacking. So here ethical hacker or security experts to perform these proactive security assessments to help improve an organizations. Actually, ethical hackers are the working for organization. They are working for organization to prevent malicious malicious or opposite of malicious hacking. They have to prevent, they have to find out who is entered or who is hacking, who is trying to hack to the organization. So they have to prevent the malicious hackers into the organizations through the network or host. Ethical hacking is also known as white hat hacking. There are so many types of hackings are there: white hat hacking, black hat hacking, and grey hat hacking. Here, white hat hacking is nothing but a ethical hacker. Black hat hacking is nothing but a unauthorized access or hacker or clacker. So, black hacker is nothing but a unauthorized access. Unauthorized access. So, white hat hacker is also called ethical hacker. Ethical hacker. So, white hat hacker is called ethical hacker. Black hat hacker is called unauthorized access to the organization, or we are calling as a hacker or cracker. So, here penetration testings can be performed by the white hat hacker for the organization, and ethical hacking involves an unauthorized is black, but here he is performing authorized attempt to gain unauthorized access to a computer system, and it is to improve the security of the system and networks and fixing the vulnerability to find while testing. So what is the role of ethical hacker is that he is to run the penetration testing and to find out the vulnerabilities report. For vulnerabilities report is for improve the security of the system to find the vulnerabilities while on testing. And ethical hackers improve the security posture of an organization, and ethical hackers use same tools, tricks and techniques that malicious hackers used, but with the permission of the authorized person. The purpose of ethical hacker is to improve the security and to defend the systems from attack by malicious attackers. So what is the role of ethical hacker? Who is hacking by the organization? So they have to find who is the hacker, but they have to use some tools to find out who is the hacker, who is the cracker entered into the unauthorized access to the organization. But they need some tools use to find out the unauthorized access or hacker. So with the permission of organization only, they have to run or test the website or their organization app like this. And the purpose of this is to improve the security and to defend the system from attackers by malicious users. So here hackers are majorly three types: white hat hacker, black hat hacker, grey hat hacker. So white hat hacker is also called ethical hacker. Black hat hacker is called hacker or cracker or unauthorized access. Here grey hat hacker is the combination of white hat plus black hat hacker. Combination of white hat plus black hat. What is the meaning is that one? Sometimes he will works for white hat and sometimes he will work for black hat. So for the organization only he will work for white hat or black hat. Here hacking refers to exploiting system vulnerabilities and compromising security controls to gain unauthorized or inappropriate access to the system resources. So vulnerabilities are coming from the penetration testing through the security tools or security controls to gain unauthorized or inappropriate access to the resources, and it involves modifying system or application features to achieving a goal outside the creator's original purpose. So what their intention is to control the hackers or unauthorized access to the organization, and hacking can be used to steal, modify, and redistribute intellectual property leading to business loss. Okay, what is the intention of hacker? What is the intention of hacker? That means they have to modify data, modify data, delete data, okay, or intellectual property leading to be business loss. So maybe these are the conditions of hackers. Maybe they can do modifying, deleting, or etc. So maybe hackers can be used to steal, modify, and redistribute the intellectual property leading to business loss. So intelligent individuals with excellent computer skills, with the ability to create and explore into the computers and softwares. So who can perform the hacking? So what are the roles of hacker? Means hacker may be excellent communication skills with the ability to create and explore into the computer software and hardware. So computer software means they have to perform some tools like this, and they have to hardware means some routers, networks, host they have to monitor. For some hackers, hacking is a hobby to see how many computers or network they can compromise. So some hackers have a hobby to monitor or to unauthorized access to the organizations and what they are doing, what their performance, how they are doing, like this. Okay, computers or network can be compromised. Their intention is either be to gain knowledge or to poke around to do illegal things. Okay, what is a hobby of hackers? Means either to gain knowledge or to poke around to illegal things. They have to monitor what they are doing and what are the about the organizations, how many employees are there, what they are doing, like this. And the hack with malicious intent behind their purpose, like stealing business data, credit card information, social security numbers, email, passwords, etc. So these are the sensitive data or sensitive cases, but hackers are unauthorized involving to these issues like social security, email or passwords, and credit card details, business data, and they are stealing some data, valuable data, like this. Okay, so these are the problems facing with the hackers. So what are the stages of ethical hacking? First one, reporting. Ethical hackers report back to the organization with the results of the test. Actually, ethical hackers work for organization. So they have to know what is about the organization and what they have to do for the organization, and they have to maintain the report. What they performed and what are the results of their vulnerabilities report. They have to daily report, weekly report, like this. They have to maintain the report, what they done, what are the limitations of that one, what they performed, what are the problems are there in the organization, like this. And permission based, before going to monitor or test the test the penetration testing or anything, they have to take the permission from the organization in charge or any admin person, like so they have to take the permission before the work, differentiate their job for criminal hacking jobs, like this. So they have to inform, so who is the unauthorized person has entered to the organization and how they are achieved, and if he is using any of the tools for ethical hacking, they have to take the permission. They only have to perform to work the tools for the organization to find out the hackers. And what are the objectives? These are the very, very important. The main goal is to find the holes before hosting attackers can penetrate them. This includes discovering system, application, and network vulnerabilities that an attacker could exploit. So the main goal is to find holes. Holes means they are finding some errors in the organization website or any app or anything. So attackers can penetrate them. So attackers can find out what are the loopholes, errors are there. So they have to take as an advantage to enter into the organization. So this include discovering system, application and network vulnerabilities that an attacker could exploit. So they took the permission and what are the objectives they know easily, and what is the methodology they have to use to perform ethical hacking. Ethical hackers perform the steps of following variety of tools and techniques similar to criminal hackers. It includes scanning for vulnerabilities, testing, break in and accessing control measures available. So suppose some network hacker is there. So we have to use related to network related tools we have to use. Suppose password hacker is there. So they have to use password related hacking tools they have to apply to find out who is the hacker in the password authentication details. So depends on your hacker issues, we have to use those related tools only we have to use. And the variety of tools, techniques similar to criminal hackers, and it includes scanning for vulnerabilities testing to break into accessing control measures of available. What are the available of tools in the organization? They have to apply tools and methodologies apply. Before going to test or apply the tools, they have to take the permission from the organization throughout the depends on objectives. They have to apply the methodology. So ethical hacking contributes significantly to contemporary cybersecurity. Ethical hackers are able to identify and address vulnerabilities before they are exploited by simulating the strategies, practice, utilizations by cyber criminals. So what are the methodologies are using by the cyber criminals? So ethical hacking contributes significantly to contemporary cybersecurity. Ethical hackers are able to identify, addresses vulnerabilities before the exploited by simulating the strategies, practice, utilizing by criminals. Suppose I have to find out one hacker. So before going to this hacker, first we have to find out vulnerabilities. So why we are going on the vulnerabilities means depends upon the vulnerabilities report only. Is the hacker is entered or not? Is it hacked or not? Depends on vulnerability only. We have to find out the hacker is entered or the website is hacked, like this. So this proactive methodology serves as the following. First one, enhance security. How we can find, how can we can improve the security? Means identify and address flaws to stop data breaches and cyber attacks. So when we are getting good security means we have to identify and address flaws to stop data breaches, means data transferring. What are the important data is there? We can't store in our websites or anything in the open websites, and for the prevention of cyber attacks. Next, compliance. Meet the security standards set by the industry and regulatory requirements. So we have to maintain the as per security standards. What are the industry and regulatory requirements? As per requirements only we have to go. And management of risk. When we are applying some tools, maybe I am applying some penetration testing, maybe sometimes the data will be lost or the server will be some traffic related, that one issues will become maybe. So management of risks will be handled. So assess and reduce potential threats to the assets of the organization. When we are working for the organization, when we are applying some tools, maybe we can face some risks. Some risks means server down or any traffic related issues of the server, like this. So maybe we have to face for that one. And occurrence reaction. Enhance the company's capacity to respond to security incidents and recover from them. So the company's capacity, how much company's capacity depends on the tools and methodologies to respond to security incidents and recover from them. Suppose I am getting some network issue. Suppose I am getting some password issues. suppose we are getting some social networking issues. So depending on your issues, we have to use related tools. To apply. So as per capacity of companies, we have to use those tools depend on their problems of the organization. That is called occurrence reaction. So ethical hacking typically involves in the following key phases. What are the phases? Key phases are there. First one, preparation and planning. So before going to find out the hacking or before going to find out the vulnerabilities, first we have to prepare and planning. So what methodology you are using? Methodology is using depends on your methodology. You have to use tools. Suppose I have to apply some network related tools. I have to apply. So is the tools are available or not, and which method you are applying to find out the vulnerabilities. Okay, that is important. So preparation and planning is important to find out the hacking or to find out the vulnerabilities. To characterize the extent of the test, acquire fundamental authorizations and accumulate data about the objectives and frame. So we have to know about what are the objectives and the framework of the organization of the target. Then only you have to attack on that. Next, reconnaissance. So reconnaissance means we have to gather the information about the target. So gather the information of the X organization, target organization. So what they are using, what their network and what their host. So what is their network issues are there and what is with their IP address. Okay, how can we have to attack? So what are the resources we need to attack? That is important. So gather in-depth data about the target system, including information about its network, IP address, host, like this, and potential security holes. So these are the important information to gather from the target organization. So then only we have to attack easily. So what are the weak points of the target? If you know, then we can attack easily. That is a reconnaissance. Reconnaissance means gathering the information about the attacking target or target organization or some X target. So scanning means what are the resources are available to scan. Suppose I have to attack to the one organization Wi-Fi. So is the Wi-Fi are using or not? What is the strength of Wi-Fi? How can we find out their Wi-Fi? What is the name of their Wi-Fi? Suppose I have to find out their Wi-Fi host, like this. Okay, so I have to find out the what are the wireless connectivities are there. We have to find out. So scanning means scan the target system using variety of tools and methods to look for vulnerable services, open ports, and vulnerabilities. So suppose my target is some X organization. So how can I enter to that organization? Means through the Wi-Fi or through the host or through the password login, like this. Okay, so you have to apply some tools, variety of tools, apply or methods or tools to find out the vulnerabilities of the services of that target organization, like Wi-Fi network, Wi-Fi names, open ports, IP addresses, like this. Through the vulnerabilities only we have to find out. And obtaining entry. How can we entry to that target organization? How can we enter? Which loophole is there? How that is important. Attempt to gain access to the system by mimicking potential real-world attacks by taking advantage of the identifier vulnerabilities. So my target organization, I have to enter into my target. So what about my target? How I have to improve my gain access. If my access is good, then only I'm easy to enter into the target organization. And mimicking the potential real world attacks by taking advantage of identified vulnerabilities. So what are the identified means what I was identified. What are the errors I was identified? Means what are the loopholes are there of the target organization? Then I can easily enter into that one. So keeping access open. So I was entered into that target host. So I'm doing some. I want to delete the data of the some target system. So how can you exit from the target? So test the capacity to keep with the access inside the framework and survey and components that could be utilized by assailants. So you have to use some components or tools. You have to use some tools to find out the keeping access continuously until your work will be finished. Okay. So I entered into the target system and I was deleted and I was edited some data. Then I have to leave. Okay. So then you are leaved. Your work is finished. Then what about the report? So ethical hacker will give the report. So report will give by always ethical hacker. If you are not giving the report means you are not the ethical hacker. Ethical hacker can give the report what he performed up to today, up to finish of this one. So suppose he performed here obtaining entry, keeping access, reporting and analysis, and like this. So he performed these preparation, planning, reconnaissance, scanning, and obtaining entry, keeping access, and these are completed. So you have to report to the organization what he done. Produce a comprehensive report to the organization, document finding, two suggestions offer reducing vulnerabilities. So after he performed all the vulnerabilities, what is his suggestions have to give to the organization? What are the key findings? What are the loopholes? What are the errors he found in the organization? So you have to give the report, clear report in the document to the owner of the organization or to the related person of that organization. So ethical hacking advantages are there. So depends on their tools and methodologies. We have to some using some advantage to beyond the just enhancing the security. Preventing data breach means organizations can avoid costly data breaches by identifying vulnerabilities before attackers. Some organizations are keeping valuable data in the openly in the websites. So anybody can attack and they can delete or they can modify the data. So it is not good for the organization. And protecting private information. Suppose some valuable information is there in the organization. So how can they have to protect? That is important. How they have to protect from the hackers. So they have to use some methods, tools, safeguard vital data, misuse and unauthorized access. It is the responsibility to the organization to protecting their data from the hackers and enhancing the system's resilience, makes applications and systems stronger and more resistant to attack. Developing trust. Trust is important for the organization and demonstrate a commitment to data security and improve the organization. When we are calling organization is good means their data is protecting and enhancing and they are preventing the data breaches and they are then only we are believing as their the organization is trusty. And what are the advantages of the hacking? There are so many advantages are there. First one, here it is used to recover the loss of information, especially when your password loss or data loss. Okay, so ethical hacker can easily found what is a loss of your data, what is your password data, loss of data, password should be we will get back, we can recover by the it is the duty of ethical hacker. So it is used to perform penetration testing to increase the security of the computer. So what is the advantage of penetration testing means we have to improve the security. What is the security level of the organization or network? And it is used to test how good security of your network. And we can fight against cyber terrorism and fight against national security breaches. So we have to fight if we have the strong security, we have all the penetration testing tools are there, then we have to fight against the cyber terrorism and national security breaches. And some more advantages. This helps to take preventive action against hackers, and this helps to build a system that to prevent the kind of penetration hackers. So hackers can do penetration testing of the target organization and what are the loopholes they can find, and easily they can interfere to the website. So they unauthorized access to the organization. So ethical hacker is the duty to build a system to prevent the hacker penetration testing to the target, that is unauthorized access. And the security to the banking and financial establishments are very, very important, and to identify and close the open holes in a computer system or network. Open holes means, so what are the drawbacks are there? Some weak password or some Wi-Fi, open Wi-Fi's, So these are the very, very danger. So ethical hacker can found what are the open holes in the computer, and they can give the report to the organization. What are the loopholes are there? Some weak passwords or open Wi-Fi's are there. That is no passwords like this. So these are the references. So today we discussed what is ethical hacking. These are the definitions of ethical hacking, and these are the types: white hat, black hat, and gray hat. So it is about the introduction to the ethical hacking, and what are the roles, key roles, and what the hackers can perform. And here, ethical hacker roles and responsibilities: reporting, permission-based, objective, methodology. And here, proactive methodology of the ethical hacking: enhance security, compliance, management of risk, occurrence reaction. Here, ethical hacking involves the following key phases: preparation and planning, reconnaissance, scanning, obtaining entry, keeping access open, reporting and analysis. Here, the security of the organization through the ethical hacker: preventing data breach, protection, enhancing, developing trust are there. And what are the advantages of ethical hacking? It is used to recover loss of information and used to perform penetration testing to find the errors or any loopholes of the computer and network, to build the good security of the organization and against the cyber terrorism, security breaches, to prevention action against the hackers, and to overcome the penetration testing through we have to find out the errors or loopholes of the unauthorized access, and banking and financial establishments, and open holes of a computer system or network, like a weak password or open Wi-Fi networks without any passwords like this. The ethical hacker can found, and they can give the report to the organization. Okay, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.